They like to say it's where America's day begins. The island of Guam, the largest and southernmost of the Mariana Islands, nestled just a few hours from Japan and the Philippines in the northern Pacific. Its natural beauty is stunning, with lush greenery, dramatic rocky cliff sides, and endless vistas of a turquoise and crystal ocean across its 210 square miles. Settled by the Chamorro people approximately 4,000 years ago, it is now home to roughly 165,000 residents, with more than a third still identifying as Chamorro. The Chamorro traditions provide strong influences in their delectable food, their intricate crafts, and in their warm and welcoming hospitality. Which is why much of the island's economy derives from tourism, primarily from Japan and other Asian countries. Unfortunately, Guam has also been subject to a number of unwanted visitors as well. Invasive species, plants, insects, reptiles, and other animals have all found homes on the island, and in many cases have created catastrophic disruptions to the balance of its delicate ecosystem. Visible, lasting damage to native plants and animals has been devastating to the island's natural splendor, and even to the traditions and economy of its people.
People may not be aware that we have laws in place to protect that beauty, to protect our culture and our resources. And so when people come to Guam, they may not necessarily understand those laws.
Like many other states and territories, Guam faces multiple invasive species challenges, such as the relentless chain of love weed and the persistence of feral hogs. For now, the immediate battle is focused on three particular targets: the little fire ant, the coconut rhinoceros beetle, and the brown tree snake. Each has proven to be a tenacious foe, and the best weapons in a fight like this are education and action.
So whether it's baits, whether it's traps, or anything related to improving the program, that's where we would like to see this program move forward, is additional research, looking for new tools or things that would improve the program or improve what we are already doing.
The little fire ant certainly lives up to its billing. Averaging only about 1.5 millimeters in length and barely visible to the naked eye, this pest loves to hide in vegetation. It's primarily known for its vicious bites on humans that can leave itchy and painful welts that last for weeks. Mimi Santos is the owner of the Jungle Bed and Breakfast on Guam, whose passion for gardening led her to create a vibrant plot of vegetation for her guests. Sadly, the presence of little fire ants has limited the amount of time she and her guests can now spend there.
About 1.5 years ago, we started noticing when we work in the yard that I was getting bit by the fire ants. And I'm putting 2 and 2 together that the welts that I was getting from apparently ants that fall on you, and they're so small I didn't know which leaves they are. So I cannot take guests into my yard to walk the gardens for Jungle Bed and Breakfast.
While the ants can be mitigated with chemical, non-selective pesticides, one of the most effective means of control is the reduction of habitat. Essentially, Mimi may have to surrender large swaths of her beloved gardens in order to save them.
I want to eradicate them because it hurts. It's very bad. And I can see them on the banana trees now, but I have so much foliage that I don't know what else they like. I don't want it to move across the whole yard and I have to move out, because apparently they could move into the house if they wanted.
Everywhere you look on the island, you'll see them, coconut trees. To the Chamorro people, they are life. The coconut is a source of food and traditional medicines. The leaves are a textile for creating hats, baskets, and other functional crafts. And they are plentiful, or so it seems. The facts are that since first being discovered on the island in 2007, the coconut rhinoceros beetle has brought destruction and damage to this once abundant foliage. One of the last practitioners of traditional Chamorro weaving arts, Leah Barcenas, has experienced firsthand the enormous loss of this resource.
Growing up, My Nana would always tell us that if you have 2 coconut trees, you're richer than having acres of bananas, because with 2 coconut trees, you have everything that you need to survive here on Guam. And so that is very important to us as weavers because we use coconut leaves every day. Small projects that should take only an hour to harvest leaves now are spending a week to source even just 1 branch of coconut leaves that we can weave.
The adult beetles bore into the developing fronds at the crown of the tree, creating serrated leaf growth, as well as broken and wilting center spear fronds, crippling the tree's ability to photosynthesize, eventually leading to a slow death spiral. All 3 stages of the beetle larva feed voraciously on dead and dying trunks, as well as other green waste, allowing them to proliferate in epic numbers, ready to perpetuate the cycle again and again. And the damage can be seen island-wide, from residential side streets to designated park areas to the densest jungle. Can it be stopped?
We always encourage people to, if they have good trees, collect the seeds, plant them, and source them out and give them to other people who can also help to take care of them and preserve the line of the tree, and hopefully we'll be able to keep those leaves. We can harvest a leaf that's perfect. It's exactly what we want for weaving. 3 months later we can come back to the same tree and those leaves are completely gone.
There are few myths as long-lasting as that of the presence of brown tree snakes on Guam. And while the numbers of snakes on the island is believed to be in the 2 to 4 million range, the idea that they are falling out of the trees like spaghetti is quite ridiculous. The truth is, the brown tree snake is nocturnal, and even hunting at night can result in fruitless efforts. Yes, there are those who have had physical encounters with these pests. However, it's not unlikely that folks can spend years on the island and never even see one. That doesn't mean their presence isn't felt daily. Brown tree snakes can hide in the smallest of cracks and crevices. Any dark corner will do. They have been known to create power outages by becoming tangled in power lines at substations. But perhaps their most devastating impact has been to island wildlife.
9 of 12 of our native birds are now extinct because of the brown tree snake. Birds that my children will never get to see. We do not want that to happen to our neighboring islands' children as well.
Tony Pangilinan is a canine instructor trainer helping to contain the brown tree snake on Guam, a battle that the island has been fighting and winning for over 30 years.
So the canine program is to prevent the spread of the brown tree snake. We are the last line of defense before the snake would end up in our neighboring islands or elsewhere in the United States or Hawaii. We inspect everything from outbound cargo, outbound military aircrafts, commercial aircrafts, vehicles. Anything leaving the island is inspected by our canine dog teams.
If the snake actually made its way from Guam to Hawaii and has established itself, is an estimated $1 to $2 billion annually to address the problem. And so we're talking about environmental, meaning its impact to birds, lizards, impact to tourism, impact to the power infrastructure. So it's really a huge concern to the folks in Hawaii, and so that's why we do what we do on a daily basis.
At first glance, experiencing Guam's rich cultural history and its captivating elegance can deceive the visitor into a false sense of wellness, when in fact, the island's ecosystem is in peril from the threat of invasive species. The unchecked damage to the island plants and animals will be felt for generations to come, perhaps with little or no opportunity to regain its former glory.
They all somehow impact each other, or they somehow affect each other, and so in its native range, the coconut rhinoceros beetle are usually controlled by large forest birds and rats, but because there are almost no forest birds on Guam and the rat population is really low, those normal biocontrols no longer affect the coconut rhinoceros beetle. Therefore, it's spread throughout the island. The damage is widespread.
However, all is not lost. Concerned partners in the public and private sectors are combining knowledge and efforts to not only better understand the enemy, but to take the battle to them. Using creative ideas and personal dedication to their home, these folks are leading the charge with determination to bring the necessary balance back to this paradise they live in.
So I think it's important to have great minds come together to formulate goals and provide innovation to a project, and just to have that energy and positive input in meeting those objectives is important.
What's next? Well, that's up to you. Solutions won't come from the top down, but rather from the bottom up. The influence of everyday citizens is essential. People who will feel the negative impact on their traditions, as well as the positive results of taking aim against a common threat.
So in terms of an interest, you could get it from the tourism side of the house. You could get it from medicinal, from a cultural aspect. That's very important because coconuts have a tie-in to the indigenous people here. But you have to ask, and you have to make them be the ones to make that decision. We have an idea, but you should never think one should never think on behalf of a community without having to at least get their buy-off, their input, their perspective.
Come be a part of the answer. Big or small, everyone has a part to play in preserving this delicate paradise. A place where culture embraces the environment. A place where community can defeat apathy. This island home called Guam.